Welcome back to Bulgaria and welcome back to Bdin Vidin in our Football Manager 24 Build a Nation save. So last season we completed phase 5 on our journey, which was win the title. Now we move into phase 6, which is to become dominant. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode. We have reached the end of season 9. But before we get into that guys, don't forget that I do stream iRacing on a Sunday. As I've said a couple of times now, I am a keen sim racer, and streaming it is something that I've wanted to get into. So if you fancy a bit of that, come along and check me out on a Sunday afternoon. Normally start around about 2 o'clock-ish. So yeah, come and check me out. Into today's video though, we are going to have a look back at what's happened in the league since you were last with us. Of course, we did crash out of the Champions League in the last episode. So we're going to get caught up in the league and we're going to take on today's live comp and find out what happens. Right, after that disappointing defeat to RB Salzburg in the Champions League, the first game that we took on was against Slavia Sofia. A little bit of rotation went on in this one. You can see that we started Mads Berthelsson and Timo Maas, and they did not let us down. A good 3-0 win at home to Slavia. Backed that up with a battling win against CSK 1948. It was Nenad Subic with the only goal of the game. You can see that CSK absolutely dominated the game. We were nowhere really, and we're very, very lucky to get the win to keep that pressure on Ludogorets at the top of the table. And it was more of the same in the next game, this time against a Lokomotiv Plovdiv, a 3-2 win in this one. We got the winner in the 93rd minute, courtesy of Albert Arnault, who's had a very, very good season, is the young man. But August Prisk with the double as well. It was a fairly even game in terms of the stats. We just conceded 2 goals that we shouldn't have really, and it's put us in this situation. And the big one, a 1-0 defeat to Ludogorets, Nectar Triantis with the own goal, and this moved the goalposts to Ludogorets up to 13 points, I believe it was, or certainly 10 points, the gap that Ludogorets extended on us at the top of the league. Ludogorets have had an absolutely unreal season. At this point of the season, they'd only lost 1 game, and that was to us early on in the season. If we had a look at the points at the end of the preliminary phase for both Ludogorets and ourselves, it's higher than what we finished the entire season with last season. So it tells you the kind of season that Ludogorets are having. And unfortunately, that Triantis own goal extended that gap to, it was 10 points, extended that gap at the top to the 10 points. We've been unbeaten since then though, and kept the pressure on Ludogorets. It was a 3-1 win over Itar in the first game after that Ludogorets defeat. It was Samuel, who is a new signing. We've not met Samuel yet. In fact, we'll have a quick look at him. He's a very, very young man, 18 years old, coming as a striker from, we've signed him from Leganés in Spain, £700,000, 18 years old, got bags of potential. Haven't done his face yet with a new gun. I'm going to do that at the end of this season, but I'm quite excited to see what Samuel can do. So he got his debut goal in this one, Prisk, and then Matthias Rodriguez with a rare appearance for the club, getting on the score sheet as well. A battling win against Septembri Sofia. Our on loan goalkeeper, David Barrios, we signed him at the beginning of the season for the loan farm really. Albert Arnault with the only goal of the game. We did absolutely hammer them. It helped that Lofty Ben Ahmed got sent off as well. Arnault's played really, really well in this game. He's started to come into his own towards the end of the season. He's having some fantastic performances. Another battling win, this time away to Baro Stara Zagora. They took the lead through Yordanov and we had to fight back, and it took us to the 73rd minute to get anywhere. August Prisk. We were then awarded a rather dubious penalty, I have to say, in injury time, and it's the 96th minute when Paolo Bernardo took that penalty past Andonov in goal for Baro. Tonino Guerrero picking up the man of the match award in this one. We were quite lucky, to be fair. Much, much better in the next game at home to Ardakar Jali though. Lima and Christoph Danik with the only goals of the game. We were much better as a team. We played some much better football, and that's reflected in the match stats. And then we went to Pirin Blagojevac and we absolutely thumped them. Philip Behunik, Albert Arnault, James Ali Marungu with a rare goal from his half-back position, and Christoph Danik with the double. 18 shots in total. We have conceded quite a lot of shots. 6 on target, which is a little bit concerning. Pap's only put in a 6.7 in this one. Again, a little bit concerning, but he's been a really, really good goalkeeper for his age. Yeah, it's a great win. absolutely hammered Levski Sofia, Verhunig, Subic and Weatherton, again with a rare start this season, getting on the score sheet. Every single player on our team is in agreeing, apart from Albert Arnault. It was a great performance. We've had 3 shots on target and they've all gone in. Andreev in goal for Levski Sofia has had a bit of a mare on a 6 rating, but we've had 75% of the ball against Levski Sofia. It's a great victory. Next up, CSK Sofia, 3-0 win away from home. Christoph Danik with a double, August Prisk. The Levski and the CSK Sofia game are both into the championship group now, which we have comfortably qualified for. We've qualified for the Champions League as well next season already. Levski are in the Europa League. They've won the cup this season. But yeah, good performance in this one. Danik picking up the man of the match. And then finally, the last game that we've played, it was away to Ludogorets Razgrad, and it was a battling 4-3 victory to keep the title race alive. Alberto Mari, Danny Namaso and Jakub Pietrzakowski with the goals for Ludogorets. Philip Verhunig, Christoph Danig with a double and Albert Arnault with a winner in the 89th minute. We were actually the better team against Ludogorets here, and we probably deserved to get the victory. We were a little bit poor defensively though, which is a little bit concerning. So what that's actually done for the league table, if we have a quick look, is it's brought the gap down to 4 points. Like I say, Ludogorets have had that fantastic season. They've now only lost 3. They did lose 1 to CSK 1948, the final game of the preliminary phase, which helped us close that gap a little bit more, which obviously is fantastic. So in terms of how the league table looks at the minute, the current gap is 4 points with 2 games remaining. So today we are back because it is championship decided day. If Ludogorets get a point, they're the champions. We need them to lose basically, and we need to win if we're going to retain the title and make it 3 in a row. I'm not too concerned if Ludogorets win the title. You know, they've had a fantastic season on 88 points. They can still get to 94 points, which is huge. We can still get to 90, which again is absolutely fantastic. So today's live com, guys, is to obviously try and stop Ludogorets winning the title. We've got CSK 1948 at home. Ludogorets have got they have got Levski Sofia away from home, so hopefully Levski can do us a favour. So guys, let's get into the game. Like I said, we're at home to CSK 1948. This is the lineup that we're going to go with for today. It's going to be Pap in goal. He's had a great season. Triantis, Garcia, McNulty, Tonino Guerrero. Pretty settled back 3 now. I think it does need some improvement going into next season, which we'll obviously look at. James Ali Marungu, Lima and Subic is that defensive midfield 3. Arnaud and Danek with Prisk and Verhunig as the front 2. So we're underway. Obviously, we need to win. We do need Ludogorets to not win either. In fact, not draw. We need them to lose. We get our first highlight. It's Ndai for CSK 1948. They're giving the ball away though to Prisk. It's Danik now with the effort. Danik gets his 17th of the season from central midfielder. He's had a great season, has Danik. Remember, he only cost us £60,000 as well, which is unreal to think about when you put it into context like that. It's a poor pass though from Chat. I think they said his name was Prisk. First time into Danik, and it's a great finish. We're looking to extend that lead. Of course, we need to do our job, don't we? And it's Danik with the ball. He gives it to Triantis. Ali Marungu back to Danik. Danik takes it past 1. Is he going to have another go with his left foot? He is. It's poor though. It's straight at Vildmarsen. And Ludogorets have taken the lead. So regardless of what we do now, like I said, we need Ludogorets to lose. Come on, Levski Sofia. Lima with his throw-in right on the corner flag. He gives it straight to Ndai. It's a poor throw-in. Danik does retain possession though. Finds Ali Marungu, switches it to the left, and Tonini Guerrero. We worked that really, really well. Subic inside the area. Cross is blocked. Arnaud needs some support. Comes back to Tonini Guerrero. Garcia McNulty. Lima with the effort. It's tame. And it's wayward as well, and it's gone harmlessly over. But we are piling the pressure on here. 25 on the clock. Corner towards Triantis. Can't keep his head down. Approaching half-time now. CSK 1948 on the ball. Ludogorets have gone 2-0 up against Levski Sofia. So it does look like they are going to reclaim their title. They've not won it for 2 seasons. Obviously, we are back-to-back champions. We can't make it 3 in a row, though. By the looks of it, Ludogorets have just been fantastic this season, which I don't mind. Like I say, it is about building the nation. We don't have to necessarily be the champions every season. As long as we're in Europe and we're doing well, and the other teams in Bulgaria are doing as well. Arno's worked out nicely to Subic though. Pulls it back for Hunig. His shot is blocked by the defender. It's going to go behind for a corner, approaching half time. Prisk to take the corner. So it's headed clear by Giza. It was a poor corner. Arno retains possession though. It's a poor touch, and now Iatoa to Bashov. CSK 1948 looking to counter. Lima's got himself sent off with a ridiculous challenge. Ridiculous challenge there from the Brazilian. And now we're going to have to look to make some changes. We're going to bring Verhunig back here, and we're going to get Weverton on so that we're not completely exposed at the back. It doesn't matter though, because Ludogorets are winning, and that's the way it's going to be till half time, guys. We're dominant in this game. It's just a silly red card from Lima. Corner for CSKA towards that near post. They do get there. It's gone over though. I don't think Pap was too concerned by that one. 20 minutes remaining. Ali Marungu gives it to Garcia McNulty. Back to Triantis. Triantis to the right hand side, and Weverton. Weverton skips past his man. He's pulled back. It's going to be 10 men aside here. It's going to be Bashov sent off for CSK 1948. Little tug on the shirt there of Weverton. Both teams have had a man sent off. Ludogorets is still 2-0 with 20 minutes remaining. We need a huge effort from Levski Sofia to keep the title race alive. Lingbo. Magmeni. Lingbo again. Inside to Giza. Giza goes long. Tonino Guerrero's underneath it though, but gives it straight back to CSK. And they're looking to build something down this right hand side. It's Lingbo again. Tartov. Giza. Pelagio. Comes back to Lingbo. Forced all the way back to the goalkeeper, Valdemarsson. Cardoso. Oh, they've moved the play to the left hand side now. Undai. Back to Cardoso. They're building this quite nicely at CSK 1948. It's Pelagio to Atanasov, and perhaps I don't know whether it moved in the air and he's had to just punch it away the best he can, but it's gone for the corner for CSK. Lingbo's going to take it towards the near post again. Pelagio, and it's a comfortable save from Adam Pap. Into injury time, guys, and Levski have not managed to claw anything back against Ludogorets. One last highlight, I think, though, and Pap saves that on the line from the CSK header from that corner. But it does look like Ludogorets are going to reclaim the title. There's the full-time whistle. We've done our job. Unfortunately, Levski Sofia couldn't do us a favour, and Ludogorets, with that win over Levski Sofia, they are going to be the champions of Bulgaria. They've reclaimed the title. That's unfortunate, guys. That's really unfortunate. We are still in the Champions League though, which is good. It would have been fantastic if we could have made it 3 in a row. Obviously, we do have to improve the squad though. Right, as for the rest of this episode, guys, because we're at the end of the season, I've got one more game to play. We're then going to come back to the end of season review and have a look at the coefficients and see how well Bulgaria have done this season. Just getting towards the end of season review, guys, and this news item's popped up in my inbox. The board are planning to build a new stadium. They're obviously taking advantage of the financial benefit that we've brought to the club. The reasoning is that Georgi Benkovsky is an old venue and high maintenance costs. The board felt it would be more beneficial to build a new stadium. So we'll find out as we go on what's going to happen with that. In terms of finances for next season, we've been given a £14.5 million transfer budget. The wage budget is increased massively as well, up to £230,000. So, you know, we're building the club up massively, really. So, back in a minute. And here is that end of season review, guys. Just the one cup this season, which is the Charity Shield, the Super Cup. A little bit of a disappointing season in terms of silverware. We didn't make too many signings. August Prisk has been named as the signing of the season with 13 goals and 11 assists in 38 appearances. Lima's had a good season as well. The 21-year-old, obviously record signing Lima. And Paul Munoz has made 7 appearances in total. Still sort of getting there in terms of his development. In terms of the outs, though, there was quite a few outs. There's a lot gone out on loan. A lot of them gone out for small fees as well to various clubs around Bulgaria. Fernando Menendez was one of them. Does have loads of potential, but I was happy for him to go out on a transfer. You know, Bettini's gone, Rosengren's gone, which was disappointing. I liked Rosengren. Loans out, not as many as I would have liked. We do have a junior club now in Marista, so I can send some of the players out to Maritza. They are a second tier side though, so could be better. As far as the season results went, obviously Ludogorets were the champions. They beat us quite comfortably in the league in the end. Danek with the most goals. Champions League was absolutely fantastic. We got to the knockout round, which was huge. Only a B- from the board though, which, you know, explain that. Some big wins along the way. 4 wins of our 9 Champions League games were victories, 10 rather. In terms of the FA Cup, it was poor. We were knocked out by the eventual winners, Ludogorets, in the second round. And Super Cup, we did win, of course, against Levski Sofia. In terms of the moments, remember, the biggest win was a 5-1 away win to Ardakar Jali. Match to remember, fantastic win in the Champions League against AEK. And the goal of the season goes to Christoph Danek. Financially, it's been a huge season. Sponsorships almost doubled. Broadcast revenues down a little bit, surprisingly. Corporate and hospitality's, again, more than doubled. Competition prize money, huge. Absolutely huge. Those wins in the Champions League and, of course, qualifying for the knockout stages of the Champions League is worth so much money to us. Match days up slightly as well. Reputation-wise, it's sort of saying the same. We're still national. We're selling a lot of shirts. Total domestic sales is £176,000. It could be better still. Danek selling the most shirts. In terms of the best lineup for the season, it's Pap, Triantis, Tonino Guerrero, Garcia McNulty, Subic, Ali Marungu, Lima, Danek, Arnaud breaks into there, Prisk and Verhoenig. It's pretty much the lineup that we played most of the season with. In terms of the club accolades, no record breakers this season, surprisingly, but Christoph Danek does pick up the Fans Player of the Season award. Young Player of the Season is Nenad Subic. Sign of the season, of course, August Prisk, a free transfer. Goal of the season was Danek. Top goal scorer, Philip Verhoenig, across all competitions with 18 goals. Subic with the most assists. Most Player of the Match awards goes to Danek. Highest average rating to Subic, and most passes completed by Slobodan Rengel. No competition awards, no record breakers. Not a great season from Bdin, despite the fact that we've scored more points than we've ever scored in the league before. Just Ludogorets were just too good for us at the minute. So guys, just one thing left to look at, and that is the coefficients for this season, which we are going to get into now. And we'll start off with the club coefficients. Of course, at the start of the season, we were in 89th position for the season. We've had a fantastic season personally, scoring 17 points, so we should be jumping up pretty high, to be fair. Obviously, there's a few of these teams going to come down below us as well. We could break into the top 70. I would suggest this season as a club. This is just used for the seedings, this one. I believe it's also used for revenue as well. I'm not quite sure where we'd be in the 10-year one. Not something I've actually looked at, to be fair. In terms of Bulgaria as a nation, though, let's have a look and see what's going on here. Have we jumped above anybody, or are we going to jump above anybody? Of course, we're the 4th best team. It's very close between the 4 teams who consistently qualify for Europe now. This, isn't it, going into next season. We're going to jump above CSK 1948. We're right on the tail of Ludogorets, though. In terms of the nation of Bulgaria itself, it's not been a great season, and obviously we'll have a look at how the other clubs have got on in just a minute. But it's an 8.3, and we're losing an 11.6 off the front of it. So we're actually losing coefficient points this season, which is a little bit disappointing. It does look as though possibly the Ukraine are going to jump above us. So we're going to go down another place to 12th, unfortunately. So we definitely need to start performing a little bit better as a nation in Europe. How that would affect the qualification places, though, is it wouldn't, basically. It stays exactly the same between the 11th and 12th, which is fine. In terms of the clubs getting on in Europe, we'll start off with Levski Sofia. They were in the Europa League playoff. They lost 3-0 on aggregate to Trabzonspor, which dropped them into the Conference League phase. They've picked up a couple of good results along the way. Obviously, defeat to Anderlecht. They got past Norgesland in the knockout round, which is great, before eventually losing to Fiorentina in the round of 16. So not too bad from a Levski point of view. Ludogorets into the Champions League second qualifying round, where they got past Sturm Graz. They did lose to Fenerbahce though, which dropped them into the Europa League. Again, losing to Trabzonspor, Atalanta. They've picked up wins against Bodo Glimt, Real Sociedad and Ghent, which was just enough for them to get through to the knockout playoff, where unfortunately they were beaten quite comfortably by Hoffenheim. So again, okay-ish, could be better. Of course, there's us. We know how we got on. We've straight into the Champions League phase, picked up some good results along the way. Got to the knockout round where we were thumped in the end by RB Salzburg, weren't we? Very, very poor showing from CSK 1948 though. They're into the Europa Conference League third qualifying round, and they were knocked out by the Puskás Akademia. Very, very disappointing from a CSK 1948 point of view. And finally, we have CSK Sofia again into the Europa League qualifying, where they were beaten by Dynamo Kyiv. Of course, the Ukrainians are overtaking us this season. Dropped them into the Europa Conference League qualifying, got past Vyborg, couldn't get past FC Utrecht. So the two CSKA clubs have let Bulgaria down this season in Europe. And that brings us to an end, guys. That is the end of Season 9. We're going to go away and do the summer now, and hopefully improve the squad. We need to get that title back off Ludogorets. You may see in the top left corner in the form that we did lose our final game of the season against Barrow. It was very much a case of rotating the squad. I gave a load of the youth players at the club the opportunity to play. We do have some very high potential players in the youth system at the club, including one who came through my youth intake, and that is Dimitar Georgiev. He's a Metzala, and he actually looks pretty decent, and he's 15 years old. He's got loads and loads of improvement in him, so hopefully that's the youth system and the money that we're investing in the youth facilities and the junior coaching and the youth recruitment starting to pay dividends. Hopefully it is. I'd really love that to be a thing. But thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll be back at Season 10 at the start of the season, where we'll have a look at who we've signed. Hopefully we can sign some better players, do better in Europe. I need to start getting the loan farm going massively as well. We need to start getting some of these clubs doing better in Europe, and that's my aim now. And until then, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.